R&B diva A'ngela Winbush is up next. Let's talk. Welcome back over here to Peppie's Point of View. I'm yours truly, Peppie, and yes, you and I, we're talking about R&B diva A'ngela Winbush's first, her debut album, her solo debut album, Sharp. That's right, I have it. Y'all know I'm a diehard A'ngela Winbush fan. I have it. The CD Sharp. That's right. A'ngela Winbush, singer, songwriter, producer, musician, lead vocals, background vocals, vocal arrangements, like all of that is A'ngela Winbush. I'm here to tell you, the lady got it going on. Oh my gosh, she is not talked about enough. And when she is, it's pretty much like, okay, A'ngela Winbush, a sentence here or there, and then that's it. No. When you talk about A'ngela Winbush and you talk about people and you say, oh, this person needs no introduction, I say, A'ngela Winbush needs an introduction. She does. She has done so much in the music industry and she doesn't get her proper respect. So I make sure that when I get the opportunity to talk about this diva that I do. I mean, she has really and truly made everything come full circle with me as far as music is concerned. And here I am going off talking about this when I'm here to talk about this album, and just hold on, we're going to get there. But it was the year 1989 when she released her album, The Real Thing, and I purchased that album. And everything just started to connect with me musically. You know, just read down in the description box, briefly about who inspired me. Patti LaBelle, Dionne, Warwick, and Gladys Knight, Sisters in the Name of Love, showed me that there was camaraderie when it came to singers. The Pointer Sisters showed me that you could have fun doing it with that video. I'm so excited. Lionel Richie was cool dancing on the ceiling. I'm like, I want to be Lionel Richie. Okay. And then A'ngela Winbush shows up and I'm like, oh, you mean to tell me that's what it takes? You have to do all of that. And then to learn how all of that comes together. Like, A'ngela Winbush took me to school, you guys. I mean, I'm here to tell you, so thank you so much, A'ngela Winbush. So much so you have definitely been an inspiration. You have, and I'm here to tell you, I try to catch her at least once a year. She is always coming through my area performing. She just did it like a couple of weeks ago. Matter of fact, no, last week, I believe, weekend she did. She came through and performed, just a few hours away from me, and I was about to take that drive and I was like, nah, I know I'm going to see her again eventually. So I was like, I don't have to go to the show right now. And she was already in my area sometime earlier in February of this year. So I get the treat of, her coming through this area always performing. So, I appreciate that so much, that I get the opportunity to see live what I have always heard on a CD or cassette. I'm here to tell you, it just gets no better. But here I am talking about the Sharp album, and I'm going to talk about this and how, I guess my points of view about the entire album. But I will say this, and then I'm gonna move right on, just briefly. I found this out in the mid 90s. somewhere around 1996, 1997, 1998, probably around 1998. And I was so shocked when I found this out. But I was like, this really seals it. I didn't know. And if you guys know A'ngela, ask her yourself and see. And I'm pretty sure she's going to say yes, because this is what I found out about A'ngela Winbush. Do you guys know that A'ngela Winbush can engineer? She's an engineer. She can engineer a project, her records. She can. I was like, whoa. And if I'm not mistaken, when I found that out, I was like, I think I do recall now A'ngela having engineer credits on a song by the Isley Brothers on their Tracks of Life CD. I'm going to have to look at that and see. But there was one of the songs on that album, if I'm not mistaken, on the Tracks of Life CD, A'ngela Winbush was the engineer. I was like, see, I'm done. Like, I'm done. Like, y'all see, y'all tripping. Y'all tripping. I'm done. I'm done. Like, I could stop right there. I ain't even got to talk about that. I'm done. You know what I'm saying? This lady's all over the place doing it. But we're going to talk about this album. Let's get right into it. Like everybody else, I guess, here's a story. I remember a few songs from 1987. All right. I remember a few songs. And I remember those songs because they were always played in my mother's car. When I'm riding around with my mom and we are on our way visiting family members in the country, area, the country part of, the town. And we'll go out and visit relatives. We'll call it the county area. These three songs I always heard. No, four songs I always heard. It was Stephanie Mills, I Feel Good All Over, Prince, Adore, the Isley Brothers, Smooth Sailing, and A'ngela Winbush's Angel. Like, those songs were always in my mother's car. And I just remember all the time, like whenever we would get in the car and we would ride, I was for sure was going to hear those songs, as we were playing. Or if I was in my mother's car, because, as a kid back in the day, I don't know, I always found myself somewhere around my mother's car and, I'm in the car listening to the music in the car, the cassettes that she had in the car. And, I'm in the driveway just listening to the music and playing that. Man, I forgot all about it. I used to do that. So I remember those songs, and A'ngela Winbush was one of those songs. So that's how I remember the song Angel as well as the video. And I didn't hear this album in its entirety until I became familiar with The Real Thing. Then once I became familiar with The Real Thing, I went back and I started listening to all of A'ngela Winbush's music, from the past. So then I was able to get this album. All right, let's talk about it. This album to me, I want to say this in a respectable way, because sometimes, your wording, people can take it and be like, huh? It's a word that I want to use, but I'm not going to use, but it's a decent word, but it could be taken the wrong way. So I would say this lady is smart, okay? She's very smart and clever. And she, just her writing, like when you listen, the writing on this album, to me, it's like, who would think of saying something like, I'm sharp as a razor? If you want to be with me, you got to be right on T. And stuff like that. Like when she says things like, I got to wake up the dead. I got to hook up my act. I'm brass, I'm bold. If you really want to fit my mold, you got to be sharp. Like, I'm thinking about this and I'm saying to myself, like, this is smart. This is clever. Like, Okay, I'm gonna go ahead on and say no. I don't want to use that word. Use that word. It could be offensive, but you know. But I'm just gonna say she's smart. I think you guys probably know the other word I'm trying to use to show how smart she is, but I don't want to say it. But she is so smart with her choice of words. Like there's a song, Imagination of the Heart, where she says, I turned into an addict fanatic, trying to please and keep your love. Now I'm burning and yearning and asking, how much is enough? Like, just the lyrics, I'm telling y'all, this is how much I listen to A'ngela Winbush. Like, these lyrics, oh my gosh, you're my only inspiration. You're my only inspiration. I never let the sweet sensation slip away. Oh my gosh. Be with me because I want to be with you. Feel free to do anything that you want to. Whatever's wrong, let me ease your mind. It won't take long, just one time. I'm like these lyrics to me, like this lady is straight pimping to me. But she, you know what? She is the kind of, just the lyrics alone makes me think that A'ngela Winbush is the kind of woman who, she is very sexy and sensual in a smart way. Like, you got to be a very you have to be a confident man, secure man to be with this woman. That's the feel that I get from A'ngela Winbush. Like, there's no containing this lady. I just don't see it. Like, this lady to me, A'ngela Winbush, just listen to her lyrics alone. You are not going to hold this lady down like that. Like, she is not a lady who's going to be under your thumb. You know what I'm saying? Like, she's not going to do that. And to me, I get the feel that A'ngela Winbush, like, just from the lyrics alone, and if she is, it's because she wants to be. She doesn't have to be. Do you understand? Like, that's the kind of vibe that I get from her, just listening to her music and listening to her approach. Like, she's a lady that definitely knows who she is. And what I like about her too is that she's very strong and confident. She comes out very strong and confident, but she maintains her femininity. Like, oh my gosh, I'm sorry. I'm supposed to be talking about this album, but I am. I'm talking about the lyrics. Like, she's just so, like, out the box. And I keep telling people, like, she and Bernadette Cooper definitely were the Missy Elliott's of our time. I mean, as far as lyrics and production is concerned. Say what you want to. I know it's unfortunate that in our society, in any kind of generation, if you will, like, most people would look at Bernadette Cooper and A'ngela Winbush and hear me make that comment about how smart and clever they were, just like a Missy Elliott, but they would downplay them because of, let's just say, album sales or awards and so on and so forth. It's unfortunate that we look at album sales and we look at accolades and all of those things to, solidify if a person is really, all that in a bag of chips, so it's what it is. I know some people just don't, they don't have common sense. They don't think, it's just what it is. But it is like, Angel, I found a certain paradise within my life with you. Heaven opened up its gates and a peace of mind came shining through. It's like I said, it's the lyrics. These lyrics are from someone who definitely just is so in tune, not just with lyrics. It's like she's so in tune with life, like it's poetry. It's intentional. I'm talking about the album, the lyrics alone. There sure is a God in heaven with angels watching over me. They hear the cries and the moans of the desperate. Look down and rescued me. Oh my gosh. So just her alone with her choice of lyrics for this album. Like I said, she's smart. She's very clever. The lyrics can be, it can almost sound like they're generic, but then it's poetry. And then at the same time, it's kind of like her lyrics are life, her lyrics are love, her lyrics are religious or spiritual. Her lyrics, they're I guess you could say teaching as far as educational is concerned. Like you can just learn a lot just by listening to her lyrically, And let's just say, for instance, a song like Sharp. For the time, someone would probably say like, okay, that song is kind of generic, like, Sharp? What is that? Like, why Sharp? Like, if you listen to it now, some people would probably say it's kind of cheesy, but they're missing, what, the song really and truly is about, and I think for her, like I said, it's her just letting you know, like, hey, you got to have your stuff together if you want to be with me, and that's what I get from it, yeah. So now we're talking about the song Angel. And Angel comes out and it just pretty much goes to number one. It's number one for, I believe, 2 weeks at number one. It doesn't make the Billboard, 200 charts. It not the single. It didn't chart over there. And it is what it is. Now, here is where I'm going to give some kind of critique with the album, and that is that when you listen to the entire album and then you see the song choice as far as singles are concerned, my only thing with that is that I think they should have stayed over on the slow side as far as releasing songs from Sharp. To me, what we really get from A'ngela is that from a material standpoint, a production standpoint, from a standpoint where you probably would feel, you would feel safe with A'ngela. Like the safe approach with A'ngela would definitely be the Quiet Storm album, the Quiet Storm side of the album. So after you had a good Angel, I definitely see that no one has ever cared like you should have been the next single released from the album. Like that song is it hits. It hits you in the gut. It does. Like it gets your attention. That should have been the next song. That was definitely the power ballad on there. I know we are familiar with her with Angel, but if they would have released No One Has Ever Cared Like You, we will be talking about a whole different A'ngela at this moment in time. And then I don't understand, this is just me, why they didn't release a song like You Had a Good Girl and You Lost Her, because I'm sure she was definitely talking about Renee Moore. And with everything that was going on around her at the time, I think that they definitely could have capitalized on the fact of, okay, everything's hush hush, but now she's saying a lie. And we're wondering, is she talking about Renee Moore, where you had a good girl and you lost her? Is that what she's saying? Push me into the arms of someone wonderful and new? Ooh. So that's why I think they should have stayed. And then, of course, they released Hello Beloved as another song on the album. But I think Hello Beloved was the final song that was released on the album. And that's where I think they should have stayed when it came to any of the singles released from the album. But the album overall is good. Now, let me talk about some things that people probably do not pay attention to when it comes to this album, Sharp. Her inspiration. this lady, when she was working with Renee Moore, when they was with the group Renee and Angela, if you go back and listen to any of the Renee and Angela albums, then you would know that these two were definitely somehow or another inspired by Michael Jackson. There's a whole lot of Michael Jackson tied into, especially the album Wall to Wall. I could pick up on a lot of that Michael Jackson influence. And I can see that influence in some of the songs when she, what is that? She goes, he, in one of these songs. Which one? Oh, Lord, I'm sorry, my eyes. It's Sharp. It's Sharp. So when I hear her, you know how Michael Jackson would go, he, in some of his songs. And so I was like, oh, that's Michael Jackson. You ain't smart, Angela. That's some Michael Jackson in there. You throwing some Michael Jackson in there. So I like that. And then with a song like Run to Me. Now, y'all can say what y'all want to say. It's what it is. Ask her, and maybe she'll go like, you know, yeah, he's pretty much is on the money with this. You know, you can ask her. If y'all know A'ngela Winbush out there, ask her. I'm thinking that Run to Me, she was inspired by Prince. She was. Listen to that beat, okay, with Run to Me. And I'm getting a whole lot of Erotic City. Let me see when Erotic City, Prince Erotic City came out. Was that? Let me see. I'm sorry. I got to see when Prince's Erotic City came out. Okay, so that would be great, right? Because Erotic City came out somewhere around 1984. Is that it? 1994. So it's definitely safe to say that she was inspired by Prince Erotic City with that Run to Me. I was like, she's just like, I'm sorry, y'all. I love it. I love it. Like, that's why I said this lady is not, she is intentional. She knows exactly what she's up to. Like, she even then was incorporating other elements into her song, you know, and that's something that A'ngela Winbush would do with future songs that she would write and produce. She would definitely pull in other elements from other songs, like, oh my gosh. And what else? So I got Prince. Now, I have read some reviews where the song Sensual Lover was pretty much like a concept from Marvin Gaye's Sexual Healing. I could see that as well. You know, some of those elements. Overall, in general, like, I just like Sharp. You have to really get into this album to appreciate it from what A'ngela was doing. There were some reviews that I've read in the past, a long time ago, where people, where critics would say that the real thing is her most focused work. And I think that she was very much focused on the Sharp album as well. Maybe we didn't appreciate it as much as we do the real thing from a production standpoint, but I don't understand why she did not cross over. This should have been the album. Well, it is the album that we're always talking about, you know, that pretty much put her center stage. But this should have been the million seller album. This should have really put her over, you know, any kind of hurdle or obstacle she was facing. And then in a roundabout sort of way, this album did do this. It did open up some more doors for her, and to prove that, you know, hey, what people were saying that she couldn't do, she did. And that's it. So what is my favorite song on the album in its entirety? It would be No One Has Ever Cared Like You. It is. When I really want to just get that good hit, you know, it's No One Has Ever Cared Like You. It's my favorite song on the album. Angel will definitely be the next song. I like Sistoir Issue. I didn't think of talk about that one as much. Let me see if I can remember any lyric on there that just stood out to me. Not really. I think maybe the reason why I don't know. In hindsight, looking back, I don't know if it was a should have been a single that should have been released. And this is the reason why I think maybe it shouldn't have been. The title is a French, right? So I think that kind of threw people off. You know, when they see it, it's kind of like, huh? What? I told you she's smart like that. So you have to really and truly embrace the intelligence that is A'ngela Winbush. So when she does something like that, again, she's showing that she's smart, she's clever, you know, that she can do these things. And so I think for me, what throws us off with Sistoir issue is just pretty much the title alone. Found people probably not interested in the song as much as, you know, one should have. Like, again, that's why I said this lady can definitely go over your head if you are not careful. You know, you can go like, huh, what was that? What was she thinking? Oh, okay, I got it now. I see. But, you know, that's just my opinion on it. You know, I try to keep it down to the 30-minute mark with these videos. And I don't think that there's anything else that I'm missing. But if it is, don't worry, because we're going to be talking about the real thing coming up next. So, hey, remember, put your behind where your heart desires to be. Whenever I leave my mother's presence, she always says to me, baby, I love you, but God loves you best. And make sure that you're loving yourself as you're giving love to others. Put yourself first. It's okay. And not only that, I'm looking forward to seeing you next video. Until then, you know what to do. Take care of yourselves out there. All right.